Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Dice Please, your bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast brought to you by the people at Blood Bowl Live. My name is Chris. As you probably know, I am joined for this brand new blathering of Blood Bowl nonsense by two of our Blood Bowl Live regulars. We have got Master of Wood Elves, coach of the Atomic Cherry Bombs, Mr. Scott Bryant. Scott, welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Glad to be here. Looking forward to the adventure.
And we have Master of Humans, King of the Clueless Crusaders. We have Tom Hubble. Tom, again, welcome and thanks for joining. So, now, I couldn't hear Tom.
I can hear Tom as well. Tom's on mute.
Have you muted yourself, Tom?
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
I think that has to stay in as like the genius technical level we're at.
Yeah. I feel like episode 1 we can keep that. We can keep that in. Tom, are you well?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Apart from not knowing what's muted and unmuted, all good.
Well, this is our brand new emphasis on the bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast that we'll be bringing you. Here, we're just going to chat some Blood Bowl nonsense to you for 20 minutes, half an hour, and we're just going to have some fun with our favourite sport. This week, we are going to play a game which we have come up with earlier today. It is our very own spin on Shag, Marry, Kill. It is League Friendly Stomp. It's that I'll get used to saying that, I think, as we do more of these. League Friendly Stomp, where we pick 3 teams and we decide which one we would take for a league and nurture and love with all of our care, which one we just want a one-off bit of fun with in a friendly game, and which team deserves the bottom of our boot. Tom and Scott do not know the 3 teams that I'm about to offer them for this. I've kept this a secret from them today. And the 3 teams that I'm going to give you are the 3 teams that, not including gnomes, because there's not enough data, the 3 teams that are at the bottom of the win rate for NAF for the month of April this year. So the 3 teams with the lowest win rate from their games. And those 3 teams, I found somewhat surprising. Those 3 teams are Goblins, Ogres, and Dwarves. So, which of those 3 teams would you nurture and take with you for a league run? Which of those 3 teams would you just want in a one-off friendly? And which of those 3 teams do you want to stamp and get rid of? And I will kick off by telling you straight away that my league team is 100% Ogres.
Okay, what's your rationale behind that? Why Ogres for league? We know for all our listeners and viewers, we know, Chris, you've got an obsession with throwing things, across just to clarify, across a Blood Bowl pitch. So is this just part of that natural obsession?
I think there's a couple of things. First one is when you start to skill up some of those ogres, hopefully with lots of casualties, the team that you can build quite quickly is very, very strong and intimidating. Obviously, that's balanced out by the fact that all of your Noblars are disposable and you probably get rid of 3 or 4 a game, and that's a bit of a mess. But I think having so many strength 5 guys, 6 skilled up strength 5s in the team, just feels too good to be true. And I also think you would have a lot of fun in every single game. Every game you would have fun, except for the one where you bonehead every turn. That game is going to suck.
About a day.
But every other game is going to be so much fun, and I think you'd continue to be able to do shenanigans, and I love shenanigans. So a friendly for me isn't enough. A league run out of these 3 would be just brilliant.
Tom, sorry, Chris, are you going to go through your friendly and the stomp, or are we going to do a league each, friendly each, stomp each?
Why don't we do ogres first? So where would you put the ogres, Scott, in your 3?
I've just written them down as friendly. I think they'd be fun. I enjoy the entertainment of, as you said, throw in a Noblar, break in the cage versus that risk of bonehead. And an ogre on its own is a pretty formidable piece for most strength 3 opposition anyway. So for me, they'd be something to, just a tease, just to flirt with on the odd occasion. Not really my play style, if I'm honest, given those 3, to be honest. So I would have them as the ogres for me would definitely be friendly. Would I have the patience to develop them over the league or the enjoyment? I know you said your nobblers are the disposable, so you're only really going to upgrade your ogres, and it's just going to be then a team of big guys who throw things. So I've got some interesting thoughts how I would bespoke paint and model them, but that's another story for another day. I think you could see some sort of village people tribute act in there. We could see, some sort of thing, or bikers. I don't know yet, but for me, they would definitely be a threat. I'd have to use them before I even thought about them or considered them for a league. I would do them, give them the credibility and the due respect of giving them a friendly. What about yourself, Tom?
Yeah,
Where would you put your ogre?
I think I'd put it in the friendly on the basis that it does look fun. Funny enough, I was mentioning this earlier today about them. They do look interesting. We've got one team already in our league, but I just don't think I've got the patience to have them in a whole league. So I think a friendly for me. I'd use them as a friendly, learn a few things. They're slightly different to every other kind of team, although that's quite nice nowadays. There's quite a lot of diversity in team play. And that's definitely going to be an odd one, especially the fact that you can both throw and boot Noblars in the same turn, which is quite nice. I think that they've got some interesting kind of techniques. But as you quite rightly say, once you start like hemorrhaging Noblars, you've just got a load of big guys wandering around boneheading all the time. So it could get a bit frustrating in League.
What I'll throw out there for them is I had a friendly game at the weekend with them, and I lined five ogres in a row, 2 spaces apart, about four rows back from the center line, and pretty much sat there and didn't touch them. And then my 6th ogre just walked around kicking Noblars into the other half to cause trouble. And that was it. It was a proper line of defense, and then just hucking little guys over it and see what happened. I love it. I love the throw teammate.
So you'd have your structure then. If you talk about how then you are going to think about developing this team, and I can see where this is going for season 8 of ADBBL. 5 ogre blockers, 1 runt punter. Is that the way you're going to go, Chris? And then the rest just of cannon fodder Noblars?
I think to start with, you might need to go 4 blockers, 1 runt punter, and then be able to take the rerolls, because that gets you pretty close. I think you can just about get 11.
So it's 140k each. 140k each for your ogre, for your blockers. So would you go 3 blockers and a punter, or would you go for just 4 blockers to start with and then bring on the punter when you've got 145k?
I'd go 4. No, I'd go 3. I'd go, because you can have 5 and 1, can't you?
Yeah.
So I would go 4 and 1 would be my mix, because you want that kick teammate in there, because you want the option to kick a Noblar a certain way forward, then walk up and check them the rest of the distance. You want that kind of option, and also it then gives you 2 opportunities to chuck one in the middle of a cage and cause some chaos. So I think you do want to. But speaking of throw teammate, where are we putting our goblins? Because goblins are also throwable. No one to kick them in that team, but they are throwable. So, Tom, where are your goblins going?
Oh, I've got to play them League. They look so much fun.
You are kidding me.
Definitely. I'd have them as League because they're as fun. They're on the same level as ogres. Because personally, I'm playing most leagues just for the fun, just for the laughs of it. I've got humans at the moment, which I'm actually really enjoying. But for me, I'm still learning the game, and I just don't want to take it too seriously. And I just think the goblins tend to be just those annoying teams that you play against, and I quite fancy that. Equally, yes, they can fall over and have a bad game, but there's so many different traits in there that you can have lots of fun. You've got your ball and chain. You've got you've got your pogoers. In fact, I played a tournament and used Scrapper Sorehead and absolutely loved him playing him. So having a pogoer and Scrapper in the same team, that'd be quite fun. Equally, as you say, you can throw them, although you are using a troll, and I think that's slightly worse off than an ogre for throwing things. But yeah, definitely league.
I'm genuinely shocked because I'm pretty sure you own a dwarf team.
I
was sure that you were going to say dwarves.
I'd written down. I bet Tom does dwarves.
Yeah.
Not in that way, but yeah, I thought we know that Elliot, won the ADBBL season 7. Any listeners, viewers, go check that out on the ADBBL channel. And he did even record a 6-0 win there for dwarves. And Tom had mentioned, I think I might take dwarves for season 7. He dangled the carrot. He kept us on those tenterhooks. He teased us, and then he went for humans over even dirty bed sheets and necromantic horror. So I was expecting you there to go for the dwarf. I thought you might not be able to resist the death roller there, Tom. So I'm pretty surprised as well.
I've actually got the brute fun goblins. So they're like the night goblin ones. So they've yet to even have a fresh base coat on them yet. So I'm just looking at them thinking, I might start getting them painted up for the next season.
That is, I mean, that has surprised me. So now I'm wondering whether Scott is about to surprise me when he tells me where his goblin. Where are your goblins going, Scott?
My goblins are going in the league. I've got them written as league
joking.
As well. No. See, I as a Blood Bowl coach, I like that stupidity factor of it. And now whether this is a sadomasochism thing, I don't know. But I play rats, I play wood elves. I like things that you're either going to get smashed off the pitch, or you're going to kill yourself, or you're going to absolutely destroy the other players, much to their infuriation as well. And I think goblins fits into that perfectly. Everybody's got a soft spot for goblins. And I just love the idea of having a chainsaw and bombs, as well as what Tom said in terms of having the pogo. I think they're very unloved. I think they could do with a few bits and pieces. And I think it takes you to that next level of real stupidity and entertainment. And for me, Blood Bowl is all about that fun, and goblins are just fun. And that's what gets my vote. In terms of would I have a big man, like an ogre to throw them? I possibly would. Yeah, I think I might look at getting, it's not an ogre, it's a trained troll, isn't it?
You have 2 trolls.
Yeah. I think I'd go for the train troll, because I do like having a big man, because having a big guy in your team gives the opposition coach something to think about.
It gives you that one-turn touchdown with the goblins as well.
Yeah, you can pick up the ball, pass it, or even a quick handoff to the gobbo next to your troll. Throw him, dodge, and at stunty, thank you very much indeed, with a few rushes. So I think you can skill up those players to perform specific dedicated roles within that team as well. And that's just what it appeals to me. So I haven't got a team yet bought or anything, but they are on the future list. I've actually got a gnome team. I've actually got a vampire team. And I probably will play one of those teams in a league purely because I've got them. But in terms of the offerings that you've given us, yeah, goblins will be my league bet.
I can
see. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Well, not really sorry to disappoint you.
I was genuinely. I was sat here and I was thinking. I was thinking to myself, one of you two is going to put goblins under your boot, and then I'll feel less bad about putting dwarfs under my boot. But now that you've just shown so much long-term love for the goblins, even over the ogres, I'm changing my mind. The goblins are going under my boot. It's where they belong. It's where
We love an underdog.
it's absolutely where they belong.
So all of us then, all three of us as coaches have said no to dwarves.
Well, no, I did say no to dwarves, and I've now changed my mind. I'm now putting dwarves as my friendly team.
I don't think you can, Chris. I think you've got to stick with your original. What did you say? Yes.
No. Goblins are going under the boot. Someone needs to put them in their place. They're at the bottom of the meta for a reason. They are a nuisance. They are only there to annoy. Nobody plays them to win. Like, they've got to go. They're out the door. I hate the secret weapons. They're so difficult to manage. The bombers make things really difficult. The ball and chains make things really difficult. To face them is nothing. It's little more frustrating to face them. They're done. They're under my shoe. I've got a set that I haven't painted, and I will not paint them. Like and you know, in comparison, I've got a set of dwarves that are quite nicely painted that maybe now are going to come out in a friendly game. Purely out of the anger that you guys have supported the goblins so much.
And just purely because of your reaction, Chris, I will give those goblins, which you now don't love, I will give them a home. for a donation to Macmillan charity. You know, I will strip them, I will clean them, I will paint them.
They are glued together but not painted. They're yours, Scott. They're yours. Get them out of my box, quite frankly. Like, make some space for something else.
So there you go, NDP fans. You know, we've helped Chris, we've helped the environment, we've saved his mental health. You know, in terms of looking at that. So yeah.
Need to, though. The problem that I've got is I now need to justify why
you're doing dwarves in
good
friendly
option for a friendly game, because I can't think of anything fun about playing dwarves.
Death Roller, maybe
the Death Roller, but I think for a 1 mil build, you're going Death Roller and then mainly lineman. You're not getting many other positionals in there for that cost.
No,
I mean, I guess like as a team to play in a one-off friendly game, it is a very interesting and very frustrating sort of way of play, isn't it? It's like, it is a very slow, defensive, bashy way to play. And I don't play the bashy game very often. So maybe like on a day where I need to get some aggression out and someone said, yeah, I'm going to play rats against you,
or even
goblins. And then I can line up those dwarfs with all that block tackle, and I can get some pent-up aggression out. So maybe in my mind, that's where their place is. Their place is in a friendly scenario where you're not going to build them up and you're just playing the bash game. That's where they sit. And I think there's not many teams that do it as good as them for that situation.
No. I do think that they are, and you know where it's going on mine. They're going to be stomped. I've had some terrible matches against them, you know, and they're just so when you're starting just with base skill, they are aggressively overpowered, I feel, and even just simple things like dodge. They'll dodge. They're not meant to dodge, but they'll dodge for your opponent. If I played them, I'd be rolling ones left, right, and centre. But that's the reason why they're in my stomp team. It's the fact is that you have to be that kind of person to play them. You have to play the almost a traditionally boring game. You know, it's literally like everyone knows what you're going to do. You're going to cage up and you're going to wander down the pitch, and then you're going to hang around the touchline until the last turn of the half, and then walk it in, and you can't do anything about it. Hence why goblins would be perfect, because you just start lobbing goblins at the cage.
I look at the dwarf team, and the favorite positionals that I look at, I like the Death Roller. I just think it's very entertaining, but of course it's you know, a secret weapon. It's not going to be on the pitch for the entire match. I like Troll Slayers, you know, Block, Dauntless, Frenzy, Thick Skull. I think they're very entertaining. All of the others, though, okay, yes, they've got block, yes, they've got tackle, yes, they've got Thick Skull. but they're also what armor 10, except the runners and the Slayer, who's 9. Yeah. So for me, it feels it's like almost a drudge. I like I like my personal style is very much that edge. It's that jump in, jump out. It's that being able to change the game and see the game go quite quickly and almost take that gamble. It feels like they're more, because of their natural conservatism in terms of how they play, you can hit us over the head, all day long and you're not going to get anything. And that's even if you get an armor break in the first instance, and we'll just stand up. And then, okay, some of us, if we haven't got jump up, are only going to be moving 1 if we're on the floor. Doesn't make it exciting for me. I'm sorry, Dwarf fans. I really, really am. I'm sure there are people out there, even our current champion, Elliot, and even one of our current coaches. If you look at that, how James doing it, I don't find anything exciting about them. I don't find a reason to get up and think about a new list and how am I going to develop my, list this season and what am I going to add? And it's like,
you don't. And equally, they're the only team that will get a cheer if one of their players dies. People don't bat an eyelid if they hear like 12 goblins have died in one game, but one dwarf dies and everyone goes crazy.
They just feel like a bit of a meh. They feel like a meh, it's safe. It's a bit of a grey. It feels like a grey team. Elliot, he's an amazing coach with these, and it took him, was it 2 or 3 seasons to really get them and develop, and they feel like a long burn project. They feel like a team that is, most of the matches you play are going to be 1-0, 2-1, things like that. I think the 6-0 win that he had against Phil last year was a bit of an exception. So for me, if they weren't there, I'm not going to lose any sleep.
I've got a beautifully painted set of dwarfs called the Silent Knights, who are all painted like Santa Claus. And at some point, I will find someone who has a Christmas-themed team that I can have a Christmas playoff against. Team Santa versus, I don't know, Team Jesus, and we'll see who wins. I need an elf coach who's painted all the elves to look like Jesus, and we'll do
with beards,
yeah, we'll do Team Santa versus Team Jesus, and we'll have an absolutely great time. I wasn't expecting 2 lots of stamped on dwarfs. I was expecting more stamped on goblins, but that's a good mix up there. I don't think any of us have gone. Oh, actually, you two have got exactly the same lineup, haven't you? You've both gone for dwarves under your foot, ogres for the friendly, goblins for the season. So we'll absolutely do this again. We'll have a look at some different groups of teams. I've already got my eye on who are the top 3 teams from the. In fact, let's have a little guess. Can you guess in the month of April what the 3 highest win percentage rates were in the meta? I will tell you what was top because I don't think it's one that you would necessarily go to.
Was it Underworld?
Top was High Elves.
Okay, yeah, because they're not in.
Yeah, as there's not a sort of a GW team, I thought I would tell you that one. Can you say who 2 and 3 are?
I would go Underworld.
Underworld are 3.
Densons. Okay,
Wood Elves.
I don't think Wood Elves were. I don't think even Skaven were. I think Skaven were at the top. So was it Dark Elves?
No. Dark Elves, Skaven, Wood Elves, all slightly lower. The second to highest win percentage, 58% win percentage, was Old World Alliance.
Really?
Wow.
Which very much surprised me because I can't stand them.
I was going to say you're doing your best to counteract that trend.
I'm trying to bring the percentage down. Is what I'm doing at the moment.
Percentage low, yeah.
Desperately trying to bring that percentage down. Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you, Tom, for going through these. Before we go, Scott, if people want to get in touch with us and tell us what their 3 teams were out of that list, or tell us anything else about their Blood Bowl lives, how can they get in touch?
They can get in touch with us several ways. They can post a comment against this beautifully crafted video. They can go also to our email address, which is newdiceplease@gmail.com. I repeat, all one word, all lowercase, newdiceplease@gmail.com, and we will look to respond as soon as possible. with probably something fruity, something tasty, something to tease you and keep you up at night.
And Tom, if anyone wants to see anything else that we do in this Blood Bowl Live worlds that we do, where can they find us?
You can find us on when we're actually live on Twitch, we're Blood Bowl Live, or through YouTube. Again, Blood Bowl Live.
Perfect. Thank you everyone for listening. A shout out to Mr. Will Dixon for providing with the soundtrack for the opening and closing titles of this podcast and video. Huge thank you to him, and shout out to Phil Coe as well for doing the videos for the outro and intro for the podcast as well. If you're watching it on YouTube,
yep.
So huge thank you to those. And we will catch you next time for some more Blood Bowl blathering nonsense here at New Dice Please. We'll see you then.